All right, welcome to another awesome, authentic, becoming like case study. We have Jennifer today sharing her experience, strength, and hope with the container after 90 days. And I would love for you to introduce yourself. Like, who are you? Where you come from? How long you been doing hair?
So I'm Jen. I go by Jen, and I'm in upstate New York in a small little town. And I've been doing hair for about 18 years. And I kind of have been on this spiritual path, and I came across your profile and it like spoke to me. And, I mean, we had that first session, and I think I cried on the first session that I talked to you, and like we just connected and just knew that this was on my life's path to really kind of open up and learn. And it's been amazing.
Awesome. And how have I know that you said we're now in October, and so you're going to really go full steam ahead with everything that you've learned in November. And so
Yeah.
it sounds like, can you share some of your projections, like on your financials?
So I had reached out, I'd emailed my clients, and I like to raise my prices in the fall so that the holidays, my projection for the week would be like 3,000 a week. Moving forward with some of that hourly based pricing. Like gratuity is welcome, but it's not necessary. Really kind of letting my clients, see that transparency, and then utilizing my energy work that I've always had, but like really learning how to protect my energy while also facilitating my clients has been huge, huge,
Yeah.
huge. So
I mean,
yeah,
and you were sharing before we hit record that on average, obviously, when we run our own businesses, the months can vary. But you said
yes,
before it was approximately like 4,500 a month to maybe like
yes,
6,500. So
yeah,
3K a week projection sounds like that would be really impactful for your life. Would you agree?
yes, 100%. I mean, and also, just having more time for myself too, with that extra income, you know, it's
Yeah.
big, it's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. You're also an artist.
So yes, I mean, I kind of got into to hair because I was that wild child that didn't know what she wanted to do, and I always wanted to paint. And my mom was like, you need a career, you need a job." And I think that this is facilitating more of that aspect of my life. My true purpose
Mhm.
is to share creativity and art with others, and to create that abundance see in my life so I can do those things. Because I mean, not to, but like that, learning my self-worth has been um a big thing through your program, and that money mindset as well too, which has helped me tremendously, not to have
Amazing.
that scarcity mindset or like I'm not worth this amount of money. So
I remember during our initial call, you had talked about really being intentional about the way, because you're a salon owner, and really being intentional about the way that you paint hair and the kind of quality that you give your clients. And you had even talked about, well, I feel like I'm kind of at like the highest price point in my town and community. Like I can't even imagine being able to do more.
yeah, and when you told me, like when you were like, "Oh, I think this you should charge this," I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, oh my god, like no way. Like so I think too, like going through, and having these women stand next to me and like be a part of this healing has really changed that for me. That worth, that self-worth, it's huge. It has been a huge change and shift in my mindset and in my lifestyle.
Yeah. And I would love to know, because you have such a huge background in education, obviously, like being in the industry for 18 years, like you've invested in like all the things, right? Like all the technical education, the retreats, like business, social media, blah, 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 like the whole gamut. And so I would love to know, as somebody who has done a lot of that work, like what about this like specifically motivated you to like book a call and come into it?
I think because it's just it's a different approach. It's not really, it's like it's about me and my healing and how I've learned that healing myself, I will heal others. And in healing others, I will heal myself,
Mm-hmm.
and like have that, like you said in the beginning, it's like, oh, I take another balayage class. Oh, I took another this. Oh, I took a social media marketing class. And like you do all this stuff and it's like, I'm still fucking empty. I'm still empty. And like your program really is just completely about me and my who I am, and then utilizing that into my business so that I can make the full potential that I want, that I deserve, and that I'm passionate for.
Yeah. I would love to know a little bit more about your process because it cracked me out because we like went like all in together when we first like met. And that was a really impactful moment, being able to hold that
Yeah,
space
yeah.
for you. But then it was kind of funny because you kind of like went a little AWOL for a minute and you were like in the woods and like it was great. So I would love for people to know a little bit about what was your process like?
So I think too, and as we go through working together continually, I mean, 90 days for the is great, but like I think too, I'm that person that like eats all of this information and then I have to digest it.
Yeah.
And I have to go out into nature and really, that's my grounding. I go for walks, I meditate on these ideas that I want to manifest. And
Yeah.
I think that you know, you and I had that discussion and I remember getting off the phone with my boyfriend and like telling him all this stuff. And he was like, you're crazy. He's like, but you're going to make it work. He's like, he believes in me, and having a partner that really stands by you and believes, in you. Um, but he knows, and I know Ken, he's actually hunting in the woods right now. He's like,
That's
I think
amazing.
there's that time to go away and to go internal and to like
Mhm.
really deeply think about it. And then you come back and you can say, okay, hey, yeah, sorry, I haven't connected. I haven't picked up my phone. I didn't check my messages because I need that separation to come back to Jen, to come back to myself and like shut everything out and then come back and be like, okay, I've thought about it. I've read about, reading, really digesting the program through Kajabi, and all that. And then I was like, okay, now I'm ready. Now this all makes sense. And, so it was
Yeah.
good. That's just kind of what I do. And like I said, that nature going out, we do live in a beautiful home with some,
You
woods
do.
where you can just shut your phone, leave it in the house and get out and like really meditate on the process that I'm going through. And I
Mhm.
don't think that what we've worked on and everything is great. I mean, I'm just so grateful that I'm on this journey and I will continue as we move forward.
Yeah.
Just life, it really is life changing. And to be surrounded with some of these women that I've met in your group and then reconnected like throughout here and there, and then we do those meetings on Wednesday, like it's fucking magical. Like it really, and I just really amazing how I was like, oh, there's no way that this is going to help me, or that mindset when you go and you're like kind of
Resistance.
skeptical,
It's
you
resistance. Yeah,
know
sure.
um that I've always been a huge X-Files fan, so like that yin and yang, that Mulder and Scully, where like I'm like, well, I'm a skeptic, like this is this gonna work? And then you get into it and you're like, oh my gosh, yes, this is really change my day, changes my mindset, changes my day every day when I see these women. And it's been great, transformational. So
Yeah. I
I
love
do
it.
go MIA because I think as an empath, as a clairsentient, I
Yeah.
think getting off of the phone is huge for me. It bothers me. So
Yeah, I mean, well, it makes a lot of sense though, right? Because we started this talking about like a level of burnout, right? Like a little,
Yeah.
you're like, well, I did all the things, right? I did all like the things I was told to do in traditional business for hair,
Yeah.
right? And you're
Yeah.
like, but I still felt really empty. So
Yeah.
it makes sense that this became a journey of really going home to you,
Yeah.
like your identity. And so how the fuck can you do that? You have to do that by like literally like cutting the sword, like literally taking the sword and like cutting and like disconnecting so that you can come back to you. Because how the heck can we ever help other people if we haven't filled our own cup first? And we can
Yeah.
logically know that and logically understand that, and yet we will still stay in that old way of doing things and taking care of everybody else first.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so
100%.
this has been like such a beckoning for you to return home to you, which sounds like just fully enriching it. And why I really I don't think there's like a wrong way to walk this walk, like in the container that we have at all.
Yeah.
It gets to be like a unique song. So that's why
Yeah.
I love to hold space for your story. And you're already diving into it, but I still want to ask it. Can you talk a little bit more about how this has impacted your life as a whole, like whether that's in partnership or whatever?
So, I mean, again, reiterating that, like, I'm saying yes to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And again, learning how to protect my own energy
Yes.
with working with clients, and
Yes.
um, just finding that self worth on that journey. My wealth is determined by how much I spend time doing things that I love.
Mm-hmm.
So like having that aspect of the my business is really successful. It's created this wonderful revenue that I can create this other aspect of my art career that is so purposeful to me, that is priceless. I mean, going through and doing the numbers, like that's always hard. And like I looked at them and I'm scared, and you're just like, you got this, raise it more. And I'm like, okay. So like but it's nice to know that you have somebody in your corner that's you're like, I'm scared shitless, and you're like, yo, I'm right here with you. I mean, because sometimes this industry it'll eat you up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of I mean, after 18 years of doing hair, it's like I'm a hairstylist, like I'm an artist. I am all of those things, but what sets you aside is that unique a bit your abilities, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it is crazy.
But I'm so excited because, like you said, like this is just the beginning.
Yeah. And I think too, because you just kind of start scratching the surface and you just go deeper into yourself, and like you're like, oh wow, so there's that much more than 90 days that I need
Yeah.
to work.
Um, and then do you have any wisdom or advice that you would share with other hairdressers who are watching this, or salon owners or suite owners who are watching this?
So I think my advice would, and I think as hairstylists, as artists, as healers, we all can heal, and we all do that in our own way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's another aspect of being a stylist, is that you have that ability. And until you learn to tap into it or take this, these type of programs, and really it'll transform the way that you look at your business. It's not just I cut hair, I get paid, I
Mm-hmm.
go home and I rinse and repeat.
Mm-hmm.
This will change the way that you interact with your clients and the value that your clients see you at, that higher spiritual healer, also with rocking some fucking awesome hair and
Yeah.
being like, okay, how do you feel? You feel sparkly, like that's my magic that I can, we are all gifted with this healing ability. I just think that you need to open up your third eye to really realize that you are. I see so many hairstylists, and that's that one complaint is they're just like, well, I love my clients and like I'll do anything for them. And I'm like, yeah, but also like they're draining you, and you need to remind yourself that you are a person too, you know? So,
Yeah. Who is inherently valuable and worthy and powerful.
hmm
Yeah.
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 I think more and more people, especially in my area, you know, when somebody tells me that they charge $25 for a haircut, I just like, it hurts me because it's like, oh my God, like that's not enough. It's not enough for what you do. And I don't even know who you are. I know that you're a hairstylist and I know that you're going to give 150% to your client. And you need to know that yourself, that worth, that we're digging, we're learning, and that value,
Yeah.
that's that's more spiritual. And then how do I say, like, spiritual and then monetary, together. So
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you so much for
Value
sharing.
yourself.
Yes. But thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And you're just getting started. So I can't wait to see what else unfolds.